Welcome back to the Warriors Path CrossFit podcast. I'm Kris Perry-Tedesco. I am the head coach here at Warriors Path, and I am accompanied today by one of our level 2 coaches, and her name is Cayla, and I will let her introduce herself. Here we go. Hi, Cayla.
Hi, Kris. My name is Cayla. I have been a coach here for about 2 years now. Athlete here for over 4 years, I think close to 5. And I love the gym. I love the atmosphere.
Awesome. So let's go all the way back, way back to when you were born. Where were you born?
I was born in Union County, New Jersey, so in a town called Elizabeth. And then I grew up my whole life pretty much Roselle Park, a small 1 square mile town in New Jersey as well.
Funny, 1 square mile. That's like the town that we're in right now, Andover. It's like 1 square mile of a postage stamp.
I used to walk everywhere, had to trek it literally everywhere, all seasons.
That's awesome. Uphill both ways?
Of course, yeah. There's no straight, no.
Okay, so then off to adulthood, college. Where'd you go?
So went to Fairleigh Dickinson University in Madison, New Jersey, where I sort of studied biochem, but then went off to business, played some sports in the meantime, but nothing serious. But yeah.
Awesome. That's funny. Fairleigh, my dad was a professor there for his whole adult career.
That's crazy. Yeah. What did he teach again?
Botany.
Never took one of his classes.
Nope. Didn't want to learn about plants?
I guess not.
I guess not. Well, okay. So tell me about your sports in college.
So kind of took a step back in college, but sports I did more women's leagues and then recreation. So I did like a women's softball league. I did rec volleyball, just to try to stay active and, have fun with friends. But before that, I was always playing. I played softball my whole life, competitive cheer and just regular cheer, and then volleyball as well in high school. So just brought that with me to college.
Cool. And then how did you become introduced to CrossFit?
Well, I got really out of shape because I just figured, genetics and everything would follow after college and stopping doing literally everything that would keep you healthy. But no, COVID actually happened. I got COVID, and then I just got really run down and was like, oh my gosh, how did I get so run down? And I'm in my 20s and I don't even understand why I can't breathe right now. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. So I met someone who came to your gym, was also a coach, and saw him wearing the sweatshirt, and I was like, hey, I got to do that. And I came here that next Monday, stuck with it ever since.
Wow. Yeah. What is your first memory of, your first day of CrossFit? What was the memory of your first day?
Memory of my first day was, holy crap, I did not know what I was walking into. And even coming from sports, I was like, this is really freaking hard. I think my first day was burpees, wall balls, and something else. And I think the WOD was about 15, 20 minutes or so. And I was like, the only thing I remember is my whole life I hated burpees in every single sport I was in. And I was like, this is the first day. I was like, why is there burpees? So I honestly, after the first day, I was like, oh no, I don't know if I will ever be in shape like these people. But I signed myself up, and honestly, it was the best decision ever. But walking in, I was like, yeah, we could do this. And then when I started, I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing here? But no, it was honestly very fun.
It's really funny because I feel like most people have such a strong memory of their first day of CrossFit. It's so funny.
Well, what's funny too is my first day, I was like, I hated burpees my whole life. Why today? And now, if you ask me today, I honestly would rather burpees over so many things. I'm like, let's do burpees all day. I'm like, let's do it.
Did you ever do the Burpee Hour?
No.
Oh my God, we should do that again.
Yes.
We did it twice. So the first time we did it was during COVID. It was all on a Zoom call. Everyone was just doing burpees outside together on Zoom. And then we did it the following year here outside. But the purpose of it wasn't just to do burpees for an hour. The purpose was to, it was put on, I can't remember the CrossFit name. There was a name of a particular gym that created this during COVID, and the purpose of it was to get people rallied around like doing something hard and burning a lot of calories, so then you would all go and order from your favorite local restaurant takeout, because we were not allowed to eat in restaurants still. It was during COVID. So it was like, to get people to order food out so that the restaurants would survive COVID. And so we did the Burpee Hour the first year at home, and then we ordered takeout from Salt. And I remember the meal I had. I remember the day. It was like a beautiful day like today. We sat outside on our deck and we had our salmon from Salt. It was so good.
Nice little reward after.
Yep.
Do you remember how many burpees?
Well, I tried to maintain 10 every minute on the minute for the hour, and I was able to do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the second year I did 10 every minute on the minute. And then the last 5 minutes, I snuck in a couple extra so I could beat my previous year. Of course,
Of course, you have to be.
You always want to do a little better.
We're all competitive.
Especially with ourselves. So why did you become a coach?
Well, I had great coaches. And honestly, the gym that you have cultivated, everyone was so welcoming. I don't think I'd be able to become a coach. I could be lying. Obviously, I don't know what the grass is on the other side, but just with the people we had here, and you had some openings come up, I was like, oh man, I don't know if I can do it. But with everyone being so supportive and knowing everybody was supportive and knowing we all had each other's backs in the WODs, it was that much easier. So I think all together it was probably you and your gym. I don't know if I would do it without you and your gym.
Well, thank you for that. It's funny because I feel like we've grown into this really cool relationship where we're friends, and I appreciate our friendship, and I feel like you are a really cool person to be around, and in a lot of ways you remind me of my daughter. But it's funny because you also kind of mirror the way I feel like I was when I was your age. A hard worker, and presents themselves with integrity and an honest, good person and fun to be around and stuff like that. So I feel like you remind me of my younger self.
I love that, honestly. Because whenever I'm thinking of if I do a WOD or if I coach that day and then I come that afternoon and work out, I'm always looking at the things that you did, and I'm like, did I do it like that? Or and there's sometimes where I'm like, oh wow, we did it pretty similar, and then there's other times where I'm like, yeah, I should have did it the way she did it, or that's a cool way, or I didn't think of that cue. So, yeah, I always look up to what you're doing too.
Yeah, and that's cool because when I took a couple of your classes those early mornings, I stole some of your cues.
We all
I like the deadlift cues that you had. I don't know where you picked that one up about the wrinkle in the back and smooth in the front of the shirt.
That was all level
such a great visual. Tactile visual for people to look down at themselves and be like, oh yeah, I kind of know what that means now. Mm-hmm. Whoa, did the lights just flicker?
It got brighter.
So how do you define success as a coach?
I think that grows every month, every year, every whatever, but I would say success right now for me is making sure that I know what I'm coming prepared with, making sure I know the logistics, making sure that the people in the room, even if it's, because I do the early mornings, even if it's super early, that they're still engaged and they feel safe. And if I push them or if I tell them to scale back, I feel successful when at the end of the WOD they're like, all right, thanks coach. When even at the beginning of the WOD they might have been like, are you sure? Do I have to do that? So I think it's just all around having the support of the athletes, but then also having that confidence to do those things and be prepared and create a safe, welcoming, and trustworthy gym.
You said in the beginning of that answer, you said success looks like this now. Is that different than what it looked like before?
I would say before, when I first started, I did a lot of shadowing. I would say obviously when I first shadowed and then first did my first few coaching sessions with you there, my success really was more focused on just knowing what I'm talking about, showing up, timeline. And yes, keeping people safe and everything was a thought in my mind, where now I'm yeah, I know like I spend X amount of time the night before preparing for the class. I know what I'm going to walk into. I know like maybe another person might join before I wake up, and like I might have to switch things around, and I feel way more comfortable doing all those things, where now I feel like my success is I have so much more time to focus on the safety, to focus on how people feel, to focus on having that like banter back and forth with the athletes while I'm also doing all the other background noise. So I think like making them feel engaged and being able to talk and be themselves while also having that gym feel is what it is now for me, where back then it was just like, okay, we need to make sure like we know the WOD, we know what we're doing, we know who's going to be here,
what time do I have to start by.
Yeah.
What would you say are your qualities about yourself as a coach that you feel the most confident about?
I would say preparedness and I don't want to say funny, but maybe like personable, like preparedness and being personable, so that way like I welcome the people in the room. I feel like those would probably be my top two. And that doesn't mean by preparedness means like I know exactly what I'm talking about. Like I still come to you, ask you questions, but preparedness knowing like I'm super confident that I know I'm going to prepare before I walk into the store. Like I'm not just going to walk in and be like, all right, I have 5 minutes, we're just going to see how this goes. Like, so I'm very confident in that. I'm going to be prepared. I'm confident that I'm going to be welcoming to the people in the room. I think those are my two strong suits.
That's awesome. And how do you think that is different in terms of the experience that you're providing for the athletes in the room versus where if they were to go to a different place, if they were to go to a different gym, how would that be different?
Well, I feel like for me, I've gone through quite a few, not like through a few gyms, like I didn't join a bunch of gyms, but I've gone and stopped in at a few gyms, and I feel like for me, our gym and what we do and what I do in my classes, I feel like the athletes kind of know what to get out of the room. Like they don't just show up and they're like, okay, there's something written on the board, like let's just see what happens today, or they don't show up because they're like, oh, we can't scale it. So I think we create that safe environment where anybody can show up at any time and with any one of our coaches and just know like, okay, like even if I don't even know what's on the board today, like if they even look at it, they know that they're going to be taken care of, they're going to be safe, they're going to be walked through it, whether it's from the beginning of the minute one for the brief to what is expected of them to what we're looking for is time-wise or strength-wise or percentage-wise. They kind of know, like, we're going to guide them through all of that versus just be like, yeah, just feel how it feels. And kind of, like, we're going to push them if we think they can do more, but we're also going to tell them to scale back if we think they need to scale back. Like, I think you, and I know I keep saying you, but this is your gym and you did create it, but I think you did a very good job at, like, taking the ego out of the room. And I think with all of the coaches that you've hand-selected, we do a good job at, like, kind of cultivating that too. Like everyone trusts us. Everyone knows that we're not here to just be like yell at them, tell them what to do, but we are here to kind of also be somewhat of a cheerleader, even though that's not our job, but also be like, yeah, no, you're not doing that. So I think the difference between our gym and other gyms is I've been to other gyms where I've walked in as a brand new person and they never even asked me what my skill level was. They never even asked like, what do you think you can do today? They just kind of like walked around them and kind of almost avoided you, where I feel like us, we take the time to even bring our entire room back to the basics, even if there's just one new person in the room. And that might take an extra 5, maybe 10 minutes, but we'll do that to make everybody safe and include everybody versus just pretend like, okay, this person might just be dropping in today. Let's not think about them. Let's just try to like get through the hour and see what happens. Like, so I think that's what separates us. We prepare. We make everyone feel included. There's no egos. We keep everyone safe. And even if that means our athletes that have been here since day one takes an extra 5 minutes for the WOD to go back to basics, they have to.
Yeah, I mean, I love the quote from Greg Glassman. He says, once you think you've mastered the basics, go back to the beginning and start all over again, but pay more attention.
Yeah. And
I feel like you're right. We do a really good job with that. I think that especially when we do the bring a friend day or bring a friend week, when we just go back to the PVC pipe and we spend probably half the class just with the pipe. You're like, oh my God, I'm back in my level 1 and my legs hurt. I'm burning.
Oh my gosh, I never knew. Well, I did know. Like when I first started, even just holding a barbell in your setup position for a deadlift, I was like, my grip alone, not even just sitting in the bottom of like a deadlift stance, but my grip alone. So like PVC pipe is so underestimated. No one even knows how hard it is to work out with a PVC. But we bring them back to the basics.
So a day in the life of Cayla, what does that look like outside of the gym?
Ooh, it's hectic, but kind of controlled chaos at the same time. The day in the life of Cayla. So most of the time I'm on the run. I either come here, coach, and then right after here, I'm in the car, hitting stops. I do sales for a living, so knocking on doors, or I'm walking into appointments. I'm walking through entirety of sites, looking at like their entire building as far as fire protection. So I'm going in the basements, I'm going into crawl spaces, I'm going into like parking garages or like just random areas. But then there's other times where I also do sit in the car a lot. I do sit at a desk. I have planned set time to plan for my week. So Mondays and Wednesdays, half a days, like at least 8 hours out of the whole week. It's just straight admin work and just planning for the week. And then after that, my hectic day, I come right back here, work out, go home, cook food, shower, take care of my dog, go to bed, restart. But yeah, so I would say hectic, but somewhat controlled chaos.
What is something about you that people might be surprised to know?
Something about me people might be surprised to know. I would say even if I look or present myself as super confident, I'm my own worst critic. I'm my own worst, I would say, it's not judgment day every day for me, but I would say I always look back, reflect, and I'm like, ooh, how could I have done that different? Ooh, should I have said that? Like, I'm always trying to work on my grip, but also my growth mindset, because like once you get stuck and then you're just like, yeah, I know everything. Like how you said, you have to go back to the basics. I'm definitely like, that's something where like I'm always constantly in my head, and I might not look like I'm someone that's like thinking about any of those things or second guessing myself, or I might look confident, but I'm like the most second guesser ever.
Hard on yourself.
I'm so hard on myself.
Well, what do you think that, how do you think that lends itself to growing as a coach?
I think overall it lends itself to me not being too proud. Like it lets me constantly be working on myself, constantly learning new things, constantly being humbled, constantly going back to like, how did I learn to read? Like, how did I learn to write? So like, I think being a coach, it's a very similar thing. So like, cool, like how you said, you took one cue from me. I steal so many cues from you, or so many cues from any of the other coaches, or I'm constantly like, ooh, like could I have like maybe set people up differently to do, I don't know, a snatch today. So like, I think it sets me up in a way where I'm constantly ready to learn and open my mind. So I would say open mindset for coaching. Yeah.
I love that because I feel like I'm eager to learn and grow all the time. I'm always seeking out ways to enhance my own self-being, just not just like in coaching, but in all aspects. I always want to grow and be better. So I feel like maybe that's how we've cultivated this group of people, you know, coaches, and then all from the top down, right? From myself to our team of coaches, who I'm super proud of this team of coaches, and I'm really excited to spend this time getting to know you so that I can share you with a bigger audience. And then I think it just trickles down from there. And the whole mission is to have a ripple effect in the community. Mm-hmm. So I think it starts with us, and then it goes out to our athletes, and then they go home and they share their happiness and growth mindset with their families and loved ones. And I feel like it's just the way that the whole ripple effect goes.
No, I couldn't agree more. Like, I think our gym, it's not like a check mark. Like, yes, when you first start, maybe the first, like, month, you're like, oh my gosh, okay, I just have to make it to the gym. I got to do what I got to do. Because we all started somewhere. We all started where you're either out of shape or you're not out of shape. You just don't know the movements and the correct fundamentals to make sure that you're doing it safely. But I think everyone from the teenagers we have all the way up to, like, who's our oldest? We have...
Yeah,
like
we have
70?
one, he's 70.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
and then I have the 3 ladies the 4 ladies now in the 65 and older class. There's 3 of those ladies out of 4 are in their 80s.
And they all show up and they're not just like, I don't want to be here. Like,
no,
they show up and they're ready to be here. Yeah,
they
it's fun.
Be here. It's really cute. Tell me, okay, so now we're going to shift gears a little bit. Tell me your favorite transformation story of anyone in the gym. And you can eliminate names for the sake of their privacy, but share your favorite transformation story.
Okay, give me a sec. Let me think.
Yeah.
Let me think. Now, does it have to be a full-blown transformation, or could it even just be like a shift in self-confidence?
Yeah, anything. Any kind of thing where you're like, you know what? They evolved because of their experience in CrossFit, whether that means they got stronger in their body or their mind or whatever.
Yeah, I think there's many people like that, and there's so many people in our gym that I could bring to mind, but I would say, since I coach the morning class, I'll go with morning. There's, I'm trying to even think, like, there's 2 people that I would choose from off the top of my head, but say one. So one that I've obviously worked with a lot, and you've worked with a lot because you do a lot of 6 a.m.ers, but I would say there's one athlete in particular that I've seen constantly doubt themselves and be like, no, I can't do this weight, or oh my gosh, I can't do this, but the movement looks effortless. They're just not using their legs as much, or they're just not, like, they can easily do it, and then they, as you tell them that, then maybe they start to get, like, a little bit slower, and they're like, oh, you see, like, it's slowing me down when they added weight, but they're still doing movement completely smooth and easy, and so I think that person over the last 1.5 to 2 years that I've even been watching them has gotten more confident, and even instead of us being like, hey, add some more weight, or hey, you can do that.
I know who you're talking about.
Has just done it, and then you're like, oh, you're going up. And
wait,
then,
I think I want to say their name.
Yeah?
I'm going to guess who you're talking about, even though I said don't say their name. I think they'll be happy to hear this conversation. You're talking about Brienne.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Brienne.
Shout out to
Brienne. An awesome
Brienne.
transformation story.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. Okay, that's funny. If you weren't coaching CrossFit, what do you think you might be doing otherwise?
Honestly, I have thought about this a lot. If not even just coaching CrossFit, but if I haven't stepped foot in this gym, I think my life would be completely different. Like, I don't even know what I'd be doing. Like, I think there's people that can fall into a trap, and I've obviously did it for a small amount of years, but sometimes it really just takes a hold of you. But there's people that fall into a trap and they're like, oh, I don't need to better myself. I don't need to do this. Or, oh, my body will just take me where I need to go. Like, it always walks to class or always walks to work, or it does what it needs to do. And, like, yeah, just being hard of breathing just, like, kind of is passage of life. But if I weren't coaching here today, I think I'd be working 10 times harder to try to strengthen that mindset and even just the whole strength of my body, like 10 times harder than what I currently am. And that's not saying I don't come into the gym and I work really freaking hard. Like, I work really hard, but, like, for instance, say I got sick a few weeks back, or say, like, I go to a work trip for a week and I only get to drop into one CrossFit class, and then I don't go to the gym for the rest of the week, and then I come back here, it's like I just got sucker punched in the stomach. I'm like, how did I ever function without going to the gym? So I think that lends the same thing with coaching. I feel like as far as, like, my mindset and my confidence and just strength overall, I'd be working 10 times harder, and I don't know if I'd ever achieve it if I didn't even come to the gym. Long story.
I'm going to ask you a couple of just, like, short answer questions now, just, like, quick fire. So, like, a couple of, like, just The first thing that comes to your mind, I just want
Okay.
you to answer with like a word or a sentence or whatever is appropriate for the question. Okay. What is the most CrossFit thing that you do outside of the gym?
Oh my gosh, I do too many. My form on picking up things that I drop.
Hips back and down, chest tall.
People are like, what are you doing?
Do you own more CrossFit clothes or regular clothes?
CrossFit clothes.
Have you ever been so sore that you couldn't sit to a chair correctly?
Yes. Many times.
Are you a log it in Wodify, or if it's not on Instagram, it didn't happen?
Log it.
Log it. I'm a log it too.
I love the comments too.
If you could choose your one CrossFit movement that you would always be able to do every day, what would it be?
I think I said I loved burpees, which I absolutely do, but I think this kind of correlates to burpees. Like, I think I could do like devil's press. A little bit of burpee with some prep.
Little weighted burpee.
Yeah.
Weighted burpee action. If you could erase one CrossFit movement from your life and you never had to do it again, what would it be?
Thrusters.
Thrusters. But does that include wall balls or no? Because they're almost the same.
All right, you know what? No. Just thrusters.
Just thrusters. With a barbell or a dumbbell? Or dumbbells?
With a barbell. I love dumbbell. I don't know what it is, but the single bar and I don't know why, I feel like I'm less powerful. But with dumbbells, I feel like I could get more done. So, with the barbell.
Okay. Anything else you want to share about yourself with us before we wrap up?
I would say it's definitely worth taking a risk or taking that leap or whatever you think is your reason for not showing up to the gym or showing up to a CrossFit gym. A lot of our communities are very similar, but our gym in particular, like, do take the risk. Take whatever leap you need to take to come here. It's worth it.
It's worth it. Yeah, all the things that you do in life, this will prepare you for them. This will help you with your body, mind, and spirit. Also, as an adult, it's hard to find places to make friends, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so when you join a CrossFit community, you all of a sudden have an instant group of new friends that do stuff together and are all for each other's improvement along the way.
Yeah.
All right, well, with that, it's a wrap, and thanks for joining us. Please share, like, subscribe. This is one of many interviews to come, and also a lot of other fun discussions. Thanks so much for being with me, Cayla.
Thank you.
Bye.